I'm Dan, and this is 10,000 Hours of Indie, a podcast exploring new music and delving deeper into what goes on in the background of the independent music industry. I'm a musician and passionate music lover, and I wanted to delve deeper into new music in the independent scene around the world. I also saw this as a chance to help artists connect and share their stories, so if there's someone you hear and you want to find out more about, every podcast has links in the show description. Get involved, help this community grow, follow on the 10,000 Hours of Indie socials, you can find all the links in the show description. And also feel free to email me about anything music related, 10,000indie@gmail.com. I'm open to any ideas and love listening to your promos. The Lunar Effect are a classic rock band with a psychedelic edge, formed by brothers Jon and Dan Jefford in London in 2017, becoming a five-piece and releasing their debut album Calm Before the Calm in 2019. For their second album, they signed to Finnish rock and metal label Svart Records, who will release their third album, Fortune's Always Hiding, on the 24th of October. I've been listening to my promotional copy and wanted to delve into it and the band's music a little more. I'm speaking to Josh and Brett from the band. Welcome to the 10,000 Hours of Indie podcast, guys.
Thank you very much. Hello.
What's it like being in a band with siblings? Is it a Liam and Noel situation, or is it a bit more relaxed than that?
I think it's way more relaxed than that.
Yeah, way more relaxed than that.
It just cuts through a lot of faff, and they'll tell each other if it's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing, always, yeah.
Which has rubbed off on the rest of us as well, but yeah, it's pretty chill.
So across various platforms, you're touted as being heavy, fuzzy, psychedelic, grungy, stoner rock, retro hard rock, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath influenced, etc. What do you guys define yourselves as?
It depends which one of us you ask.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if one of you answers in your own way, and then you can argue about it later.
Yeah.
I like to think we're a blend of heavy 70s influences and 90s alternative. I feel that's where we sit.
Yeah.
However, because we're all so active in writing everything, it does end up in just that really weird place where you have to have all these extra words to sort of describe each song or something, you know? It's not that we're trying to capture like a super wide audience, it's just that we can't really succinctly put it.
How about you, Brett?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Like we wear our influences pretty, again, like openly. We don't try and hide what we listen to growing up. There's probably like a few extra ones thrown in there that we aren't that vocal about, that we probably go missing. Pretty much the 70s, 90s sort of mash up, and then a few extra bits added for a little bit more.
There's the classic stoner scene, right? Where it's like, you know, Electric Wizard, Caius, anything else is blasphemy. And you know what I mean? Like, but we're quite proud of the fact that we let loads of different things feed into it, and unfortunately get a lot more descriptions.
If everybody hears something different, then it means you're not sounding the same all the time.
That's it.
That's pretty much the goal.
Obviously, the brothers formed the band. How did the rest of the band come together? What was your sort of starting points and ambitions for the band when you started out?
Right.
Yeah, it was John. Mark, who's now come back, was the original bass player with another guy called Jim, and John was singing. And then Mark left to do something else, and I was between bands and just paid me I just said I'd bet and just sit in on rehearsals so they could keep rehearsing, and then ended up just staying since then. And then I think we put a ad out for a singer. I can't remember the exact word, and John sorted it out.
It just said no dicks.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Don't be a dick.
What was it?
Well, that's a good policy, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because I was doing like the solo circuit, like singer-songwriter stuff around Camden, and I wanted to join a band, and they had like an ad come up. I did an audition with the song that's now like Woman, and then that was it. Then one guitarist dropped relatively recently, in the last year or so. Mark rejoined the band as a second guitar.
So the 19th of September saw the release of Settle Down, the second single from the album, and my personal favourite. For me, it sounds very Alice in Chains influenced. What's the story behind the song?
It's like a classic one where we started off with like lyrics and a different music. Then it didn't quite work out, so we put it to bed for a little while. And then a new riff came along, and then we put those lyrics to it.
That was a riff that we had on the last album, but never, like we had it for a while, but never sort of just put that aside for about 2 years and then brought it back in.
Okay.
Mostly because I forgot how to play it, and then that's just generally the case when I come up with a riff, instantly forget it.
Was it a conscious Alice in Chains sound, or is it just something that sort of developed over creating the song?
Happy accident, just like me.
Your third album, Fortune's Always Hiding, is due in a few weeks. That's a pretty quick follow-up from your last album by modern standards, because it's, 18 months since the last album? How did that happen? I mean, was it just that you had all these songs stockpiling, you got on with it, or did you consciously think, right, let's make another album quickly?
It's probably a bit of both. Jon and Josh are pretty prolific when they come up with like ideas. Jon especially, he seems to come in with like 2 or 3 pretty much finished songs every rehearsal.
I'll bring a load of ideas and be like, your problem now.
Yeah, and then we took 6 years, I think, between first album and Sounds of Green and Blue, so it's couldn't really spend another 5 years again. And I think while we had this sort of bump in followers and that, I think it was just a case of, right, let's try and get something else out to try and keep the momentum going.
There's always that elephant in the room with like COVID and that boring conversation that's been had 1,000 times. But one of the ways we operate is we really like to test out songs live. And if they aren't really feeling good live, we don't like. There's a couple of songs that didn't make it onto the last album or even the first one. Really, it
was the last one. Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah. And so we didn't have the opportunity to do that. So after a while, we were like, well, we need to make the second one, and we kind of went in blind because we didn't play about 2/3 of the songs we hadn't played live when we recorded it. Mm-hmm. So it was a bit of a change, but then that went well. So I feel like we had a bit more confidence to just get on with the next one.
Yep.
And also, like, Svart, the label, were pretty keen as well for us to get another one out. So we're just sort of like, well, let's just go.
Well, of course, I'm in Finland, where your label's based.
Oh, great!
So I know Svart Records very well. I've been to a lot of the shows they've organised in Helsinki and things like that. For me, every record shop has a Svart Records section here. So I'll probably see your record before you do.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
The press release says the new album deals with loss, memory, and the weight of time. Tell me about the themes of the album and how that came about.
It's difficult to speak about Jon's, because in terms of like lyrically and like the themes of the songs, I'd say it's fair to say it's mainly Jon and I, isn't it, Brett?
This one, there's a lot of Jon's like finished things that
Yeah, the more should we say like ballady ones. Like these are ones that Jon have sort of brought as like complete packages, and they, from my interpretation, because obviously I sung it, I feel like there's a lot of like really kind of sad romantic themes, but it still manages to be a bit badass. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like reveling in it and being a real bloke about all these sort of things that are happening to you, which I really like. And then in terms of the songs that I write, a lot of them are to do with experiences of childhood. I had loads of seizures, so a lot of that bleeds into it, and all the sort of stuff that does to your head. Yeah, just kind of getting that all out there. The last album, we went a little bit mystical, and a lot of that has kind of fallen away now, and it's getting into sort of sticking in those deep topics and being a bit vulnerable with it. Like Settle Down and Feed the Hand, I've had for like the lyrics I've had for like years, but it's never been quite right to do it. And I think like now's the time to really sink our teeth into it, which is quite nice. And it's nice to be like vulnerable like that while still being cryptic. No one really knows what you're talking about.
Although the press release has given it all away.
Oh, of course they do, don't they?
If you had to pick a favourite from the album, do you each have one? Or is that, as I've said to many other bands, like picking your favourite child?
I know Jon's is Nail to the Sky, and mine's toss up between Feed the Hand and Settle Down.
Yeah, I think mine's probably Watchful Eye. I like that one. That sort of feels almost like probably the closest we're ever going to come to making like a physical graffiti, like era sort of Led Zeppelin sort of sound. Josh will hate me for this, but one of the tracks towards the end, Skotoma, is like probably my favourite one to play. Like it's just a bit out there and not really something you'd probably think we'd play, but it's wicked.
Who's done the album artwork for the latest releases? Because I really like them. They're very sort of intricate and 70s looking.
Been the same guy who's done them like for everything we put out, basically. Nick Gernert has done the front covers, and then I think Jon did all the stuff on the inside.
So you have one upcoming show listed at Blondie Brewery in London the day after the release. That's the album launch party, I assume.
Yeah.
And you've got a show in Nottingham on the 8th of November as well.
That's it. Yeah.
2008, according to your website, promises more touring. Can you let us into any plans you have, or is everything still in the planning stages?
I think it's fair to say it's quite heavily in the planning stages. We're talking to a few folks. Nailing things down where we're all free is a bit challenging.
How about Finland? Obviously, your label's here. Is that in the possibility?
They've said about bringing us over to play. It's just we've not actually firmed up a date or anything with them yet as to when. Yeah, when we first signed with them, they mentioned like that they'd like to get us out there to do a show at some point.
Your YouTube channel has loads to delve into, including quite a few cool cover versions you've made. Was that just something you started during COVID and has sort of carried on a little bit since, or?
Exactly what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And it also gave us the opportunity to lean into like how much fans of like classic stuff we are, well, relatively classic, you know, especially with like the free cover and a bit of Bowie and things. It's like, yeah. Fun.
There's a couple of Beatles covers on there as well, I saw.
Yeah. Did you make it, just out of curiosity, did you make it to the end of the Beatles cover? The more recent one. What was the recent one we did, Brett?
Oh, I can't remember. Was it Across the Universe? Something like that.
Across the Universe, that was it. Did you make it to the end of that one?
I don't think I actually watched it.
Oh.
If you watch if you find that's fair enough. But if you get to the end of the video, there's a bit of an Easter egg that no one has ever commented on. Just us making stupid noises at the end.
Okay, now everyone who listens to this is going to do that. So yeah. You'll notice your viewing figures will go up by about 8.
Yeah.
There's also a music video on Svart Records channel for the single "Feed the Hand," but you're not the band.
No.
Tell us about that video. How did that all come about?
We just essentially thought it'd be really funny to have us all replaced.
Yeah,
and
we just basically thought that we're probably like a Milli Vanilli thing, like a reference there for the teenagers. Basically, we needed a new face of the band because like our manager was telling us that we're not the most photogenic in the beginning of the video, so he basically replaced us with someone else who's.
It's quite funny for the fact that it's probably one of your higher vocal songs, so it does actually fit with the female miming to the words.
Yeah, no, it was really good fun because we were basically like, how can we just not do a classic stoner doom video that's just hairy people with guitars? And we got hairy women with guitars instead.
I'm not sure they'll be too happy with you calling them hairy women. To be fair.
On the head. Oh, here we go.
See, things can be taken many ways. So we're already on the final question, which is, what music are you listening to at the moment that people may not be aware of and should take some time to check out?
Sort of dipping in and out of a lot of stuff at the minute. I'm going to see Refuse tomorrow night, so I've been going back through stuff like just listening to their back catalogue and Quicksand and going back through At the Drive-In and Sparta and all like 2000s emo-y sort of stuff. And then about a month before that, I was pretty much purely listening to outlaw country.
Well, it's good to have diversity.
Yeah.
I've recently re-listened to the Incesticide album, Nirvana, cover of Aneurysm. I'm trying to convince everyone to do it for the album launch. We'll see, because that'll be a great sing-along as well. As well as that, my guilty pleasure is like really heavy electronic music, like synthwave. I know that's not very heavy, but funk, just really hard hitting stuff. So yeah, I've been on a bit of a run with that and cyberpunk and things.
Yeah.
So for anyone wishing to find out more, your website is thelunareffect.co.uk. You're on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Is that the extent of it, or are you one of these bands that attempted TikTok for 5 minutes and got bored?
That's exactly you're like a psychic. You should be on the album.
No, I think every band I've spoken to has said, yeah, we tried TikTok, we put one video up and then went, this is shit.
Yeah. I mean, you summed it up.
Yeah.
Just interview you.
Okay, well, the third album by The Lunar Effect, Fortune's Always Hiding, is due for release on the 24th of October via Svart Records, both physically and across streaming platforms. Josh, Brett, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And good luck with the album. Look forward to getting you out to Finland next year, hopefully, if you make it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us, and thanks for thanks for your time again.